10, Angel Colazzo. Number 13, Lucas Frick. Number 16, PJ Flanagan. Number 17, Matt Lilia.
We're joining you back here from the Cumberland County Technical Education Campus here in Vineland, as we've got a nice matchup here for 90 minutes between the RCSJ Roadrunners and the RCSJ-Cumberland Dukes. The women won the first game 1-0 on a first half screamer, which ended up being the only goal that mattered in the game. Roadrunners again in their blackout uniforms, Cumberland in the white and blue accents. Gonna be a fun one here. I'm Dan Wilkins here with my camerawoman for tonight, Maya, the student worker for RCSJ. As we are about to get underway with a nice showcase of collegiate soccer here from Cumberland County, here in Vineland, right off of 55, the South Jersey Shield will look to go to both the men and women's clubs of RCSJ soccer, for RCSJ Roadrunners soccer. But the Dukes looking to at least take a share of the shield. And we are underway here from Vineland. The Cumberland Dukes, led by head coach John McLean, assisted by Milan Stewart and Victor Rodriguez. RCSJ at a 1-4-1 start on the young campaign for the Roadrunners. Not the most ideal start by any means, but they're working on getting back in contention. Duke sending this right through the pipe with Eddie Perez. Now back to number 13. Emmy Talpa. What's that? Letalpa. Okay. Apparently both T's are silent, but beautiful night here from Vineland. 73 degrees here at the first whistle. Mostly cloudy, but it's also going to be cloudy for the next 2 weeks, so we'll get used to that. PJ Flanagan, or excuse me, actually number 17, Matt Lilia of Buna Regional on that possession. Bit of a jersey tug back at Perez. Cumberland has it with Renee Barragan. Here comes a bullet of a kick. How about this? Going right back up against Martinelli, who takes it in. And already an early pressure for the Roadrunners. With Martinelli in goal, the freshman goalkeeper out of Lindenwold, one of 3 Lindenwold alums to take the pitch, not just now, but on the general roster for the Roadrunners. Brandon Martinelli, along with Emilio Hernandez, the multi-sport athlete out of Lindenwold, along with Jermaine Okiki. That one's up and out of play. Sent away by number 15, Charlie Scheel, defensive back out of Delsey. One of the big differences between men and women's soccer, and maybe it's just on the Cumberland side, but we looked at the regular season cautions between these two teams, or the warnings, if you will. There was only one on the women's side, and that was back on opening day on September the 7th. And that was just one for the entire team up to this point. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, and 15 total cautions in just a handful of matches for the Dukes this year. And that just shows maybe more physicality. Maybe that just shows that more fouls are being called in general, and maybe that it's more of an unforgiving game. But Perez has this one out of play. Delsey is the possession of the Dukes. And it'll be thrown in by Dom Russell, who, as we mentioned with the regular season cautions, he has 3 of those 15 cautions so far this season, and is the only player with 3 or more, but there are a handful of players like Antonio Sanchez Cruz and Renee Barragan that have 2 on their slate so far this season. Shane Graham, Christian DeLone, Donato Diaz, Emmy Letalpa, Bathwan Onao, Ty Powell, Eddie Perez, and Jonathan Vergara all have 1 apiece as a part of that 15 that we've seen so far in this regular season. That one just missed to the right of the goalkeeper, Shane Graham, the freshman in goal. So that's another talking point from the women's game. We had a pair of sisters playing for opposite teams, the Nasaki sisters, with Sarah and Summer playing for opposite sidelines. Now, talk about having something run in the family. Shane Graham, the goalkeeper for RC Cumberland, is the brother of Lauren Graham, the goalkeeper for RCSJ-Gloucester. Don't think I can say I've seen that one. But that's the thing, is these guys are basically, you know, this is why this game between Gloucester and Cumberland is such a big rivalry, is that, you know, I think one thing that community college athletics kind of lack is the basis of strong rivalries. You know, in high school, like I went to Audubon High, we despise Haddonfield and Haddon Heights, maybe even West Deptford at times. People, you know, that we would always face 2 or 3 times a year per sport. But in the community college scene, you don't see as much of that prolonged, you know, rival status because, well, first of all, the players aren't around long enough for that rivalry to be established. they've basically got 1 foot out the door by the time their freshman season is over. And sometimes they're already out the door. A 1-year transfer goes over to a 4-year college. So, it's something that definitely is something that is nice to see rejuvenated here on and off the field with Gloucester and Cumberland. This is going to be a corner kick by Dylan Kodama, and the clock will stop at 38:53. And they will let it run again. Kodama of Manhattan Beach, California, misses on that one, and the Dukes send it out. Kodama, the only player on this RCSJ Gloucester roster to not come from the state of New Jersey. As we said, he is from Mira Costa High School in Manhattan Beach, California, which, I mean, hey, if I had to choose between a shore town in Southern California and Cumberland County, New Jersey, I don't know if I'd pick Cumberland County all the time, but still a very nice place down here in Vineland. Kind of a hidden gem here in South Jersey. This will be a free kick by the by the Dukes, number 7, Ethan Spinato. Speaking of spins, we got a couple here on the defense. Taken in by Perez. Back to 17, Lilia, again of Buna. Both teams want it to be their possession, as is the case on almost every possession, but it looks like the Roadrunners will throw this one in. With number 3, Cameron Borger, again a Washington Township product. They ask him to move back on the throw-in. I was going to say that field position seemed a little too nice, a little too favorable. And another foul there. Hold on here. Things are getting a little chippy. Has taken a shot there, Robert Pionkowski. And a bit of post-whistle extracurriculars there, as this one will be sent away by Borger again. Backing him up is number 16, PJ Flanagan, the defenseman from Deptford. Right down the road from RCSJ. Oh, look at this. Flanagan fakes us all out. This one is going to be a nice hop to the left. And just missed. Graham in on that one for the Dukes. Dives on top of that ball. Like we said, Graham, the brother of the Gloucester goalkeeper on the women's side, Lauren Graham. That's out of play. I mean, we've seen more chippy action in the first 9 minutes of this men's match than we did in basically the entirety of the women's match. I don't think we saw our first foul until about 15-20 minutes into the game. I mean, like I said, it all comes down to, even just the warnings and the cautions. RC Cumberland, their women's team, won throughout the entire season, and 15 on the men's side. I think that says a lot about how chippy men's soccer can get and how sometimes those emotions can overflow, even in a relatively low-stakes part of the game like we're in right now. Only 10 minutes have elapsed since the opening kickoff, and already they're going to call that a foul after the push by Dom Russell, the freshman here for the Dukes. This broadcast is brought to you by, hold on here, Flanagan again, going to keep this one on the ground. Here comes a nice breakaway from Borger, but it gets blocked. Again, working hard. Flanagan backing him up in the defensive side. Now this one goes over to Telepa again. Latelpa is going to send that one out. This broadcast is brought to you by Dog Wrestling. The dangerous adrenaline wrestling gladiators will rock South Jersey on Saturday, September 28th at the Sacred Heart Church in Riverton. Bell time is 7:30. Over 20 competitors are set to compete in Riverton, including reigning champion Breaker Morant and former WWE Tag Team Specialist Tank Toland. As we said, a night full of exciting action on the way in Riverton. For tickets and information, visit dogprowrestling.com. Flanagan sends this one away from the defensive side, goes over the head of Barrigan, and now Graham sends it up, trailing to the right side with heavy backspin. And now we got a chance here. Graham bobbles it, and a shove, and some late contact. Everything's going to get sorted out here, so they'll resume play without issue, but maybe a couple inches away from being something more. Could have even been a PK if there was issues there on the defense. There's a header that gets knocked down, taken in by Christian DeLone. Here comes Graham rushing in, and he has possession. He hangs on to it. Shane Graham, great stop there for the Dukes. And hold on here, clock is going to stop at 32:50. For an injured player, injured Roadrunner on the far sideline, he gets up under his own power, and the training cart gets turned away. Return to sender there. So clock stopped at 32:50. Second clock stoppage of the evening so far. Both have been rather brief. He'll just walk that off, make sure he's okay. And game will resume here with a kick to midfield. Flanagan is in on that one. We've got head-on-head contact. Roadrunners signaling for a man open. That one gets blocked by Donato Diaz, the freshman. They're just trying to formulate something here, trying to make all those moving parts fit together. But right now, not being able to do so. Here comes the line drive, and man, here we're a couple of inches away from doing that. Shane Graham on that one. Again, some heavy pressure on both goalkeepers. At least in the first couple of minutes, it was against Martorelli for the Roadrunners. Now that tide has shifted to Shane Graham. And we are going to have a corner here. Not exactly sure who's taken that one. The zoom function on this camera isn't exactly 100% what we have usually. Usually we'll be able to tell. And those blackout jerseys not doing us any favors here. Well, I'll tell you what, the blackout jerseys do a favor for the Roadrunners. They cut the goal on the corner. Taking it in for an early goal, 14 minutes into the first half. The corner started by Kadama. Ends up paying off big time after a couple of deflections and a couple of headers. They find their match. And 31 minutes to go in the first half. We have our first maker. And it's 1-0. And Duke's kind of airing out some grievances there, especially with Russell to the officials. Not sure what there was to say there, but that's one of those things where I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that situation. Sometimes we are the fly on the wall, especially in those high school games where we are really close to the field. You can hear every curse out of the ref that you can imagine. All the banter that goes between these players. You can hear it somewhat up here if you're quiet enough, but you know, especially down on the field and even in the first couple rows of those grandstands, it is pretty raw what these guys are able to capture. You know, in the heat and the intensity of this rivalry game, the Battle of Route 55, and The battle of the South Jersey Shield. Easier said than done. That one goes over to Russell, who is guarded 3-on-1, gets a shoulder check, and Russell takes a tumble, but he'll hang on to it. Back to Latelpa, as here comes a kick with a great leg on it. Roadrunners having to defend the goal, and this one is shot way out over the track and onto the grass field behind it. That was a booming kick, even for one that just simply went out of bounds. And again, we apologize, folks. It's been getting a little bit harder to see here under the lights, especially with the Roadrunners in their blackout jerseys. All I would ask is just make the numbers white. I mean, even for a guy that's close to me, like Noah Heights, it is hard to see his number, and I can barely, with 20/20 vision, read the outline of number 12. I guess it works during day games in October, but just the glare of the turf does make it hard to see. Flanagan again having a lot of action on that defensive side, and that kind of shows, what Cumberland's been able to do on this defensive side. It goes back on a couple hops to Graham, who stops it. 1-0 Roadrunners. Kodama took a corner to the house for our first goal for the Roadrunners of the night. Here we go. Here comes a breakaway from the Dukes, and having a chance to make something happen there. A little bit of frustration, but he doesn't get it. Goes back to Spinato, the sophomore. 3-on-1 now. Cumberland creating some space. Gets blocked. Roadrunners trying to send it the other way now. Again, creating a lot of space. They wanted the offsides call, and they got the offsides call. So big break for the Dukes there, as the offsides is called against the visiting Roadrunners. This one's got some good air on it. Graham in pressure. A collision with Heights, but Graham ends up holding on to the ball with no issue, and we still resume play with no stoppage. Again, sent back out to Graham from the defenseman, and more of a midfielder in Spinato. Thrown in by the Dukes. Keeps it on the ground. Gets a good leg on this one towards Martorelli. No good, and that will go to the near sideline, kicked out by Korber. Or by Cameron Borger, excuse me. Kind of a portmanteau of those two. Here comes the throw in from Russell. This one's got a chance. Keeps it on a low hang, and it just misses to the left of Martorelli by maybe a foot, if that. And Cumberland comes within inches of getting the Dukes their first goal of this entire Battle of Route 55 doubleheader. Here will be a corner, a very quick corner. Keeps it on a line. Header, no good. That one will miss to the right of Martorelli this time after a couple of key deflections. And we will go back to square one here. We're actually going to go back to another corner. So back-to-back for the Dukes. This one will be taken by Spinato, the sophomore. Looking to tie the game here in the 20th minute. Gets blocked on the header. Martorelli, oh, couldn't get it. Duke scores. Both goals tonight have been scored on successful corners. And we are tied up 1-1 as Ethan Spinato sets the stage for a great header and a great corner goal. 1-1 in the 20th minute. Couple of substitutions after the goal for the Dukes, but a very enthusiastic Cumberland team and a very enthusiastic crowd makes this a 1-1 game. Both goals have been scored on corners tonight. First from Kodama for the Roadrunners, and now Spinato brings it home for the Dukes, picks up an assist there. Borger back to Flanagan. See, Flanagan's the one guy on this team that even if you didn't have a jersey on him, you could still recognize who he is. Graham, with his knee, sends it away. He didn't have enough space to make a full kick. Had to kind of have a truncated angle there. And now what a crossover there from Ferrari. Flanagan has it again. Back to Heights. The alum of GCIT, also right down the street from Rowan College. Back to Tyler Lowe, the midfielder, crossing over. We got bodies flying here. Russell goes up, Ferrari goes up, and this one is way out on the near sideline. About halfway through this first half, a 1-1 tie game. I'll take one. Sorry, folks, had to switch batteries there for a second. So this will be a kick by Rowan Cumberland. Martorelli moving around. Looks like Spinato's going to take it again. I mean, it wasn't too long since he played hero before. And actually, no, Spinato will move to the line. So it will be number 13, Emmy Latelpa again. Here we go, chance to break the tie. Even though the game hasn't been tied for too long, Martorelli traps it on a one-hopper. That's best case scenario there for the Roadrunners. You know, they were backed up after that play, and now They get to reset a little bit, space everybody back out, and go back to square one. Thrown in by the Dukes. Here comes a chance. Misses to the right of Martorelli. Misses well right. Here comes a deep throw from Russell. Now Russell gets to set it up, gets blocked. Goes out of play. This will be another deep throw from Russell, trying to have the same song second verse. Gets a better angle on this one, headed by the Roadrunners. Now it gets knocked out of contention, going all the way back towards midfield. Bit of a collision. Now great footwork from the Roadrunners. They're going to get this one past midfield, but they've got 4-on-2. Goes back to Noah Heights. And knocks it out of play towards our photographer, Colin Conway, on the far sideline. Colin's been here all day for the women's game and for the men's game. We appreciate his work. He does an excellent job for both D2 Sports Network and also for the RCSJ Roadrunner Network. We appreciate his work dearly. That one is up. Saved by Graham. Got a good angle on that one. He goes down, Graham's rather. And they stop the clock at 19:02. And we're going to have a yellow card against the Roadrunners. Can't, again, those blackout jerseys, hard to tell who that is. But now that he turns his back, might be Hikes, not sure, but Graham will send this one away. So clock is stopped at 19:02. And we will resume as Graham will send this one away. Graham sets the ball down. And this one is up and away. Great leg by Graham. Little hugging and tugging there at midfield. Now bringing this one back to Kodama. That one is out of play towards Spinato on the far sideline. Flanagan gets it up. And actually a one-hopper, Graham falls and sends it back on a return to sender. Oh, wow. Some heavy contact, and again, Russell's not happy about it. Crossing through traffic is Ferrari. Here goes Kodama again, goes in for a slide, and we're going to have a foul here. Oh, boy. So we've already seen one yellow card tonight. Oh, here we go. So this will be fun. Seeing what RCSJ can, or what the Roadrunners can do here. Trying to break the stalemate. Oh, gets blocked. Didn't have any chance on that one. Wall of defense for the Dukes. And they hang on to that. Again gets blocked. Great leg here from the Dukes. How about that? Goes back to Flanagan. Or excuse me, goes back to Jacob Garrett, the former striker at Gateway, who has had a bit of a positional change over the years. Here we go. Latelpa again. Hugging the sideline, gets a little tug. Braden Burns still. And looks like Dukes will have possession there. This will not be a corner, but instead will be another throw-in from Dom Russell. He is all the way out at the third lane of the track and now throws it in. Doesn't get much going there. And here comes a moonshot over the goal from 16. Braden Burnsteel, the freshman. That was close. Well, I shouldn't say that was close. I mean, it was kind of a rocket, but missed by maybe 10, 15 feet. Here comes the line drive. Again, goes past midfield. Gets some serious height on it and some serious backspin from Russell. Combos with Ferrari, but that one goes out of play. Just a hair under 15 minutes left in the first half. Garrett again trying to defend, keep himself in there. And that one's lined back out by number 8, Tyler Lowe of Hamilton. Kind of like the midway point between the Gloucester and Cumberland campuses, and maybe a little bit to the east. I mean, some really fast-paced offense here in the first half. Collision, no foul, hugs the far sideline, and they will call that one out of play. Handful of trade-offs in the air with Barragan in on that one as well. Got some flying bodies again. Blocked by Constantino. Ali Constantino, the freshman for the Dukes. Oh, and it goes in. Roadrunners goal. And they take a 2-1 lead over the Dukes. from the former Gateway alum, Jacob Garrett. And it is 2-1 Roadrunners. That is exactly what they needed there, especially after the Dukes have had control of the possessions for the longest time. Now they're able to finally break through. Right at midfield again, Kodama brings this one down. Keeps it to the left, and actually, wow, Berrigan tipped it right to Graham. Would have been wide to the right of the goalpost if not, but he does tip it a little bit, and Graham is able to fall on top of it. Again, crossing over through the middle, blocked by number 2, John Young of Williamstown. Goes back to Noah Heights, the sophomore forward. Now crossing through Cam Borger. Here we go. Garrett looking for goal number 2. He leaps right over Graham. And they avoid disaster there as Cumberland picks up a save, and everybody is able to walk off of that play without issue. Keeps that one to the right with Burnsteel. That one goes out towards the administrators' tents out there. You got the athletic trainer for RCSJ-Gloucester along with the athletic director, Brian Rowan, out there for the Roadrunners. Defense brings this one back into fruition here. Garrett brings this one up. He's got some incredible skill. Keeps it on the ground for Perez. And that one gets blocked by Kodama. Or by Borger, rather. It's out of play. Goes over to Perez again after the throw-in by Russell. Kicks it out to the right side. Excuse me, that is number 18, Anthony Sanchez-Cruz, and it's out of play. Now 10 minutes left in the half. Already a high-scoring affair with a 2-1 lead for the Roadrunners. That one gets blocked by Berrigan, and it's out of play onto the track. We've got a handful of subs coming in for the Roadrunners. Garrett will come out. So will Heights. Martorelli's done a great job in goal so far. Well, again, one of those 3 Lindenwald alums. Not to mention as well, Faber Agbini, which actually I forgot is a 4th Lindenwald alum. He was only added to the roster recently at the start of the season. But when camp started in mid-August, it was just those 3, Hernandez, Martorelli, and Okiki. But they have added a 4th Lion to the slate. Here's going to be a nice curve that goes to the left and out of play. is taken out by Russell. Kicks this one back out to Martorelli. Sends this one on a line. That's the win for you. It has been picking up. And the door just shut to the press box like we're in some sort of Michael Myers movie. But that one goes out to the far sideline. Just kind of became a wind tunnel for a second there. Here's another corner by the Roadrunners. They scored their first goal of the night on a first goal of the night on a corner for the Roadrunners. Just about 10 minutes into that game. And now they've got a chance to make it 3. And it is good. Wasn't sure based on the angle, but they did get it. And the Roadrunners tack on another from yet another corner by Kadama. The Manhattan Beach, California native makes it 3-1 Roadrunners. And 7 minutes and a hair left in the first half. Roadrunners lead the Dukes by a score of 3-1. Like we said, Roadrunner men's soccer has been off to a rough start, 1-4-1. Their only win of the season so far. I mean, they just haven't had the best circumstances so far. That one sails over the head of Graham. But that was our first game on the Roadrunner Network, was that 5-0 loss to Camden County. They beat Bucks Community College 5-0. And then 3 losses and a tie followed that. 6-1 to Mercer County and 2-1 each to Middlesex and Sussex County. And a 0-0 scoreless tie to Montgomery County, the Broncos. This one's on the ground, and it is good. He hangs onto that one. Roadrunners, for the men's, only have 3 matches left in the month of September. And then they've got 7 to go in the month of October. They've got the County College of Morris on September 21st at 12 o'clock. And then 6:30 at Union on the 24th and Raritan Valley on Saturday the 28th. Then they close out the season with, actually, they've got 5-6 road matches in a row. So you've got Union and Raritan Valley in September, and then Ocean, Manor, Bergen, and Delaware County all in a row in the month of October. Then they close off the season with 3 home matches in a row between Brookdale, Atlantic Cape, and Northampton. And a foul's going to be called here on the Dukes. That one looked good for a second, but just didn't have the right angle. And under 5 minutes left in the half. And for the men's team this year, they have played substantially more games than the women. They're at 2-3-1. Started off the season 0-3 with losses to Ocean County, Montgomery County, and Raritan Valley, 1-0, 2-1, and 3-1 respectively. Then knocked off back-to-back wins against Atlantic Cape by a score of 5-4. High-scoring slugfest indeed, and then a 1-0 win over Bucks County, which Considering that RCSJ Roadrunners beat Bucks Community College 5-0, I'm honestly not sure if they're different places or not. Maybe just labeled differently. But then a 1-1 tie in their most recent match versus Union back on September the 14th. Here he goes, sets it up, a powerful header. What an angle. Set up by number 17, Matt Lilia. I mean, he basically drove that thing into the ground. It was going to make a crater. But it is no good. And it hangs on to a 3-1 score late in the first half. Liner knocked down by Graham. This will be another corner. Hold on here. They're going to make an adjustment of some sort. The ref in orange making some sort of adjustment here, but here we go again. Looking to make it 4-1. Graham sends it high into the air, comes down, comes out of play. And now here we go again with Jeffrey Melsey on the kick. Liner, Graham, can't get it. Roadrunners want a call, they don't get it. Now Dukes are going to get this one back. Flanagan sends it back the other way after some powerful descent. And Dukes get it out again. They have been trapped many, many times here in this first half, trying to avoid another goal before the end of the 45 minutes. He gets a throw. It's a goal. Roadrunners, they get it again. They get another break, this time not on a corner, but on a slew of defensive alignments. An offensive, I don't know what you want to call it, basically just a circus show there, and it's 1:47 left in the half. 4-1 Roadrunners. Well, the Roadrunners have only scored 4 goals in the last 4 games, including a shutout versus Montgomery County and then 1 goal apiece versus Mercer, along with Middlesex and Sussex. So that is a sigh of relief for them to match that amount in just 43 and a half minutes. Russell slides. We've got a tangle up and a tango. Looked like they were doing Cotton Eye Joe for a second there, as this one goes to the near sideline again for Jermaine Okiki. Got a little bit of pushing, got a little bit of shoving, not a lot of loving, and here comes a shot. They're going to say that it's good again. They're going to say it got past Graham. That's a close call, but they will stop the clock at 1:03, and the Roadrunners strike for the second time in a minute, and it's 5-1. Wow. I mean, they have been electric here with 3 goals in the span of about 5 minutes. And this game has run away from the Dukes as quickly as they've been in it. And now a minute to play in the half. Cumberland sending it back out with Ty Powell, the sophomore. Haven't seen too much of him tonight. And now Okiki sets it up again. Setting it up very well for Matt Lilia. Now he's got an angle. He's got a shot and it misses. And it's out at the far sideline. Some subs coming in. No. They're going to stop the clock at 32. athletic cart coming out here. Trainer cart for the Dukes. That is a Dukes player down on the far sideline, or excuse me, on the far corner. We'll see how the severity of this is, but we will take a quick break and we'll be back once he has figured everything out. All right, we got about 31 seconds left for an injury stoppage for the Dukes as a player for them, not trying to be too speculative, but it looks like they may have popped a shoulder back in as he is being taken away in the cart. And I've dislocated my kneecap a couple of times over the years, and it does not feel good. And he was really upset for a decent while there. And hopefully he is okay and he'll be treated as such by the wonderful athletic training staff here at RCSJ-Cumberland. This one will go out of play. Got 10 seconds left. Santiago Velasquez on the throw. They'll send it back. And at the end of the first half, it will be a shocking score of Gloucester 5, Cumberland 1. An incredible showcase by the Roadrunners with 3 goals in the span of 5 minutes late in the first half. We will take a quick break. In 15 minutes, we'll be back, or actually 10 minutes, excuse me, with more NJCAA action here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. right, back here in the second half. Kind of a odd start, but certainly not an odd night for the Roadrunners as they are up 5-1. After a bit of a delay, they're going to say that that one was out of play. Dukes will throw it in, but I mean, Dukes got a goal midway through the first half to tie the game, and then after that, it has been all Roadrunners. It was 1-1, and then it was 2-1, and they got a goal, what's known as an Olympico, where a corner kick ends up scoring with no other contact, thanks to athletic director Coach Rowan for showing me the term on that one. But yeah, I mean, 3 goals in 5 minutes, especially for a team that, like we said, has only scored 4 goals in the 4 prior matches beforehand. They've had a lot of success here tonight against their rival, the Dukes, their crosstown rivals, if you will. Flanagan has this one. Beautiful ball to the left, to the right side, rather. Sent away. Roadrunners defense picks that one back up. Flanagan again with the header. Another header. They might make it 3. This one gets stopped, and it is out of play. You know, I think the question, if you're Cumberland, is, you know, you were able to hold your own for so long. The question that you have to ask yourself is what went wrong, and what can we do to reverse that course when we know, we know what already has happened in the first half. Now you kind of have to change that course, and they might be a step closer to that. Here is Martorelli. Dives on top of that one and hangs onto it. Talk about close calls. We just had one right there. And Martorelli lines this one over the middle, sending it back into play. Garrett back out for this one. He meets him in the middle. That one's out. Good effort there by the Dukes to try to keep that one in, and it will be Roadrunner possession. Trying it again, knocked down by Graham. It's a big part of what they needed there to slow down the momentum. Cumberland needs to block some more shots here and start sending the momentum the other way on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you can have a great defensive performance, but name of the game is that you're down by 4. Have to get some goals back on the board for the Dukes as that one goes out to the Dukes sideline. That one's up. This one gets blocked by the Cumberland defense and sent out by O'Neill, the freshman. Oh, got a jersey tug there on Burnsteel. Narrowly a foul there. They are not gonna call a card on the Roadrunners, but instead this will be a free kick for Burnsteel. Sets it up at a great position here, straight away to meet face to face with Martorelli as they'll line these guys up. See what they've got. Leaps up, Martorelli takes it in on a hop and splits the gap to save that one. It's another thing that he needed there, just to pick that one up, and didn't have too much opposition there, didn't have any other contact, just went right straight to Martorelli. Still getting a little chippy here. These guys going back and forth for a 5-1 game. Going now back to the Dukes, and we've got a foul. We're going to have a card? I thought so. No. Okay, never mind. Got a little ahead of myself there. But we are going to have a foul. Looks like it's going to be on the Dukes. And they will line this one back up with a chance to extend the Roadrunner lead. Here it goes. Almost, but to the right of Graham, and it's no good. When it starts flashing, I'll switch it. Here we go again with O'Neill. That was close. Martorelli slid in on that one, and they almost turned it into an own goal. That would have been unfortunate. But the Dukes again having the possession back. Now it's back to the Roadrunners. And the Roadrunners have just been dominant in controlling the possessions. Not only have they been controlling the goals, but it's also about how much time you have the ball. If you don't give the Dukes time to string plays together and to string possessions together and kind of get a feel for what you got to do to drive the ball down the field. Oh, we got more contact, and we're going to have a foul. The ball went into the net, but it's not going to count. Got Roadrunners up in arms here. Let's see what they call this one. And I've had a couple of these so far tonight. And Roadrunners trying to air their grievances to no avail. All right, here we go. 1-on-1. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and the Roadrunners score. Cuts it out to the left, and they extend their lead on a penalty kick that makes it 6-1. After contact inside the box, heavy contact that is, clock stops at 38:03. Sorry, folks, I was a little bit off there. And it is a 6-1 Roadrunners lead. So Cumberland needs to string together some great possessions here. Luckily, they do have some time. I mean, here's the thing. If the Roadrunners could string together 5 goals and a half, so can the Dukes. It's mano-a-mano here. So we'll see what they can do in the final 38 minutes. Like we said, for NJCAA soccer, no overtime. What happens in 90 minutes all stays within 90 minutes. No overtime, no extra time, no funny business. Goes over to Flanagan. Kind of had to stutter step there to regain himself. That one goes over the middle. 2-on-1 there with De Leon and Barragan. Now here comes another setup. This one gets stopped. It'll be tipped off. Gets a shot. Doesn't go. High launch angle, but misses. This will be a corner for the Roadrunners, looking to extend the lead again. No. I don't think that hit anybody. But now it goes way outside of the box, and that's not going to be any good. Here comes Flanagan, almost a high-powered collision with Flanagan and Spinato. Spinato shaking his head there. That one will be brought back in on a throw by O'Neill back to Powell, or excuse me, to Latelpa, excuse me. Gonna have a whistle blown here. Ooh. Two guys came together there. And they'll be okay. Flanagan sends this one away. I was going to say that would have been fun if Flanagan was able to score, but no. Knocks it down out of play. It'll be Roadrunner ball. After a stuttered throw, he moves it in. Oh, he whiffed on it and went to the ground, that being Okiki. Flanagan takes another hit. It's going to be in for Spinato again. And next to the post by a hair, Martorelli takes it. One goes out of play on the far sideline. Garrett charging at it again. Wow, big hit. No foul, but it does go out of play for a Roadrunner throw-in. By the way, if you're just joining us, the scoreboard will tell you basically everything you need to know. It has been all Roadrunners. Roadrunners scored in the 10th minute on a corner kick by Kodama. And then Cumberland tied it up on their own corner kick. And then it has been all Gloucester. They scored 4 more goals before the end of the half, including 3 in 5 minutes. And they've added another on a penalty kick past Shane Graham. Duke's in trouble here. Shot blocked, but it stays in play. Graham calls for it, and he's got it. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Garden State Pet Center, the #1 spot in South Jersey to keep your pet happy and healthy with the most organic food products available in South Jersey. Along with that are toys, cages, accessories, and more. Visit 7 days a week at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon. Play. Whistles are going to blow. That was a premature throw-in. Blocked by O'Neill. That one's out of play. This will be Duke's ball. Really don't know any other schools that are called the Dukes. You know, you've got the Kings. Maybe even for a all-girls school would be the Queens. Even some Knights, of course. And a lot of Vikings. But don't see too much of the Dukes. Although I would like to see some sports teams called the Earls, the Barons, the Countesses. If you're going to go with Dukes, just go all in on those royal motifs there. A nice spin move by Gloucester to forcefully retain possession. I guess that's a mano-a-mano there. Powell takes a hit, or Powell gives a hit, I should say. And now Cumberland making some space here for O'Neill. Goes right over midfield. Now heading towards the far sideline. Turns it back over to Garrett. Roadrunners Lilia trying to say he's open. Or excuse me, Charlie Schill trying to say that he's open. You know, like, let me know. Flanagan again takes it over at midfield to Garrett. Crossover by O'Neill. Again, creating space for the Dukes. That's something that they have to do in order to create these plays that they've practiced for weeks and try to get them back in the contention for this game. The last thing that you want to do as a team is just run yourself into poor defensive situations. And we are going to have a yellow card with 28 to go in the second half. After this possession, please excuse us as we're going to switch batteries in our camera. So the screen will go black for a couple of seconds after this free kick on the yellow card. Second yellow card assessed tonight. First against Cumberland. And considering we saw 0 in the women's matchup, this game has been very physical tonight. All right, so PJ Flanagan, a graduate of Deptford High School. No, it will be Flanagan. All right, so they cross this up again. Here we go. Over to the left side, and that will be no good. Another slide, another stumble. Trying to fix everything again for the Dukes and resetting after the penalty, and we've got another foul. Is there going to be another card? I think we've got another card coming. And yes, it will be a yellow card. That will stop the clock at 28:01. So make that the third yellow card against these guys tonight. Second against Cumberland, and the third total. Here comes a high flyer, cutting to the left, got a man down, and that'll go the other way. Yeah. Still play, man. All right, back in action here. That one will run out, thrown in by O'Neill. Another push, another shove coming in there. And got another man down. I'm telling you, this game getting a little chippy between these two rivals. We've seen it very well with the 3 yellow cards. You just don't want anything to boil over. Roadrunners wanted a hand, didn't get it. Another big hit. Here we go again. Cumberland trying to challenge, trying to block. Got some hits. Graham is on top of it. Roadrunners not happy at all that that wasn't called, or that something wasn't called. And Graham sends it away on a booming kick over midfield, blocked by Flanagan. Oh boy. Climbing over to middle now. Got 2 on 2. Just cut a little too far to the left from Lilia. And that ball goes out of play for a Roadrunners possession. "24 minutes to play in the second half. As here comes a booming shot, but go right into the hands of Graham. A little surprised that the Dukes haven't experimented with something of a backup goalkeeper, considering that Graham has let up 6 goals tonight and 5 in the first half. I would have thought, I mean, nothing against Graham. You know, obviously these guys have, you know, it's been a kind of team effort for the Roadrunners to score 6 times. But, you know, usually when a team is down big, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, what about the goalkeeper? And obviously they are deciding to stay the course with Graham. And I'm sure there's good reasons to that. You know, there's good reasons to hang on to it. And they're making a whole slew of subs here. Good 4 or 5, maybe 6 new fellas coming into the game here for the Roadrunners. And this is the time where, you know, once the home team or whoever's winning, you know, kind of decides that this game is out of hand and is pretty much decided, you know, is when you're going to get those younger freshmen getting some action, getting some playing time. We might even see a couple of freshman goalies maybe swapping out Martorelli. I mean, Martorelli's been the starter. Usually it's Colin Peters, but I don't even see Peters on the sideline there for the Roadrunners. So Martorelli is already the backup. Kevin Wall is the third string. Saved by Martorello. He goes over to Martorello. I bet for whatever extracurriculars are going on there. We got time called. Clock is going to stop at 21:13. Referee's having a discussion here with one of the players. What in the world is going on here? And by the way, the clock never stopped. The refs whistled for the clock to stop, and yet it never did. So, from what I'm hearing, is that's going to be a Roadrunner goal. Talk about stopping the clock again. It's 7-1. I am a little befuddled, to say the least. The Roadrunners tack on another. It's 7-1. Gonna have a substitution here, in fact, 2 for the Dukes, as another breakaway from Gloucester extends this lead to 6 with 20:34. And Cumberland trying to defend the goal again. Graham slides. He has possession. He rolls it back out to number 21, who is not on our roster for the Dukes. Yeah, I kind of stopped commentary for a couple of minutes there because we had burgers on the grill, aka beef. An unusual kind of beef at that, but I mean, hey, when I said in the first half that something I wanted to see come back was heavy rivalries in community college athletics, I guess I got what I wished for. But that one's taken in by Graham. By the way, this broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 95% of students pass their Harper driving test on the first try. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right off of Lambs Road. And also, if you're a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, we are always looking for small businesses that want to get in the advertising game in front of 70,000 plus annual viewers. Well, you can send us an advertising inquiry email at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. And we will send you an advertising flyer with information on how to get your brand in the advertising game. Setting it up. Oh, did they just score an own goal? That might have gone off of one of Cumberland's players. There was a whole mess of people in the middle there. And depending on that angle, I think that might have gone off of the foot of a Cumberland player. So I am not sure who scored there, but that's 8-1. And they tack on another. I am very surprised. Just considering the fact that, you know, RCSJ-Gloucester, like we said, they have scored 4 goals in the last 4 games, got shut out by Montgomery County. And again, that was a 0-0 tie, so they traded the favor. But it was just surprising to us, you know, to see this outburst of offense by the Roadrunners tonight. It's genuinely impressive what we're seeing from them. Cumberland's going to try to drive through here and get back into the game. And hold on here. They're going to send him back. It'll be a foul. I think it's going to be on the Roadrunners. So free kick just outside of the box. So Cumberland getting the rare free shot of their own, which they certainly could have used a handful of them tonight. And Martorelli traps it, barely traps it. Cumberland player goes down. Hold on here, clock's going to stop. And once again, it stops, this time at 16:06. I think we had another, no, it's, I didn't see a card, but. Another hopper past Martorelli, but it goes to the left of the goal and out of play. It's going to be a corner, a very quick corner for Eddie Perez. If you're going to start, might as well start now. Gets blocked by the Roadrunners. Goes back with a beautiful kick and a beautiful angle, but it's back past the right side of Martorelli. By the way, big thanks to the RCSJ Cumberland campus and Cumberland County Technical Education Center for having us here this afternoon. You know, this game was rescheduled. Well, not rescheduled, but moved. It was originally supposed to be at Coach Richard Wacker Stadium at Rowan in Glassboro at the main Rowan campus, but a men's soccer game got added there at the last minute. Therefore, Rowan had to take priority, and we had to pack up and go somewhere else. So I think it was only in the last 48 hours that this game got moved to Cumberland County Tech. So, but the Battle of 55 still reigns on, obviously, because these guys are literally right next to Route 55 towards the end of it. And always great to be around here. You know, this is what I like to call a hidden gem of South Jersey. Salem County's up there as well. You know, a place that not a lot of people visit often, just because there's not a lot there. But there is a lot of wonderful sights here in Cumberland County. I mean, when you think of South Jersey, you think of Camden County, maybe Gloucester County, Burlington County, maybe, and then the Jersey Shore. You know, there's a whole other part of the state that is lightly populated, but full of wonderful sights. Burnsteel kind of working backwards here, trying to get past the Roadrunner defender. One's out of play. Man, he just got pile drove here. Spinato. And a whistle, but no card. Like we said, 3 yellow cards already. Emilio Hernandez, another Lindenwald alum in the game. Roadrunners still sticking with Martorelli in the goal. Another trip up. Roadrunners, I almost said dugout. That's the wrong season. Can't wait for February to come around. But the Roadrunners sideline. Letting up some cheers there. Over the middle again. Cutting to the left this time for the Dukes. He's got 2-on-1 and it misses off the back post. Out of play on the near sideline. Have just a hair over 10 minutes to play in this ball game. Roadrunners would improve to 2-4-1 on the campaign with a win. Dukes would fall to 3-2-1. Another run over there and another one. I mean, these guys are just getting battered around like a pinball. Now under 10 minutes in the second half. This will be taken by 13, that being Latelpa misses well to the left of the goal. Martorelli dives on top of it and stops it. Oh, we got another one. Duke's not happy with that one. They stopped the clock at 9:13. I think they pulled out another card there. And now this will be another Free kick for the Roadrunners at 9:13. Batted away by Graham. Now they're going to redo it. They're going to do a redo because Graham, I guess with something on the way, he deflected it because he was the only one that made contact after the ball let loose. So clock is stopped again at 9:03. Attempt 2 is wide left. So they go 0 for 2. And that one misses wide left to the goal. And here we go. Kevin Wall, the freshman, is in the goal for the Roadrunners. So they sub out Martorelli in the final 9 minutes. And we'll see what he's capable of in what I believe is his first collegiate game in goal. He was a leading scorer for the Gloucester City Lions and also a 3-sport athlete. Sectional champion in basketball 2 years ago and baseball this past year. And things are getting dicey here. Cumberland players coming in. Make sure that things don't overheat here. They're trying to restore order because the thing that seems to happen with these guys is that when the game is settled, the game is out of hand, a card is being given to Cumberland, their 4th of the night against them. But when the game starts to get out of hand, the players get more and more angry, even the players on the winning side, because sometimes that leads into some cheap shots, that takes some hard hits, and a lot of times it's sometimes players just taking out frustration. And sometimes we saw it in a scrimmage versus Cecil earlier this year in August, and things got a little ugly. And we haven't reached that point yet, and you hope you don't reach that point, for the purpose of nobody having to serve an ejection or a suspension. And Graham gets ripped down. And another hard hit there for Shane Graham, who basically got ripped to the ground, and that's going to be another yellow card. Man, we've had more cards flying around than a game of 52 pickup, and yeah, nice keep under the grass. It's just 7:20. Just a quick conversation between Graham. I mean, obviously you're hoping he's okay there, but like I said, what did I say 30 seconds ago? It was a matter of sometimes these games get out of hand and the players, they're taking out their emotions, they're taking out their frustrations. And not that it's all Cumberland's fault. I mean, Gloucester's had some bad cases too. And now you can see things are getting heated. And Graham comes in there, and somebody's just got to do one thing. They just have to, it's a game of telephone. You let off that one spark, and all heckle-a-doodle might break loose here. We saw something with boys soccer last year. It was a game between Cherokee and Shawnee that got chippy, and got very chippy at that. And you got to remember, those two schools are part of the same district. the Lenape Regional School District with Lenape, Cherokee, Shawnee, and Seneca. That one gets knocked out of play. But no shots on goal yet for Wall. But like we said, sectional champion for Gloucester in basketball in 2022, and then also won it again in 2024 for their baseball program. Their first sectional championship in 50 years, dating back to 1974. That's going to be a knockdown there. Got a Gloucester player down. Clock is going to stop again at 5:24. And again, just trying to restore things here because it's an 8-1 game. You can get chippy, you can say what you want, and you can talk a little bit of garbage, but it's what Larry Bird did in the 80s, and it worked. But the last thing you want, there's two levels to it. There's a level of just trash talk and kind of a little bit of back and forth banter. And then there's, trying to injure other players, and you don't want that, especially with the cheap shots. Not that it's an intentional attempt to injure or anything, but you just don't want any cheap shots here in the last 5 minutes. You don't want things to boil over. There comes another one. This might be the first real shot of seeing Wall's action in goal. Looks like this will be taken by Russell. Line drive kick. Did it go? I don't think it went in. Cumberland's going to have another chance, and it goes. Goal, a late goal for the Dukes, makes it 8-2. So Wall allows a goal in his first 10 minutes in the position, and it is 8-2 in favor of the Roadrunners as the Dukes get a salvageable goal here late in the second half. Clock resumes at just a hair under 4 minutes after that goal, and another hit by Flanagan. And it's going to be a foul. Flanagan's got his hands up. I mean, and it was a 1-0 game in the women's game. I didn't see any of this. I'm utterly surprised at how chippy this men's game has gotten. Another jersey tug, another shoulder check. Roadrunners looking to create some space here, get themselves distanced so that nobody gets hurt. Here comes another breakaway. He beats the defender to it. Graham slides and he saves it. On the defense from Barrigan. And he rolls this one out very swiftly to the left. Another tug, another pull, back to Graham, who slides, takes it in, and fires it overhand. Back to Jaime Rivera. Oh, that is a brutal hit. You could hear that from up here in the press box. And now things are starting to get a little bit ugly. I think that was PJ Flanagan on the hit. That is, you know what, I'm surprised that that's just a yellow card. I mean, man, he got him good. Let's see what we got here. I mean, that's number 19, David Jamie Rivera. Man, that's a bad hit. I mean, things are getting ugly to the point where we've got bad things on both sides here. And this is for two schools that play under the one banner of being a flagship school of Rowan. And yet this feels like Celtics-Lakers right now, even though it's an 8-2 game. You had some sort of banter between a couple of parents. Maybe they're parents, maybe they're just fans, but obviously one on one side, one on the other. Another roaring cheer from the Roadrunners sideline. I mean, part of this is just purely symbolic at this point, but the refs also have to make sure that they restore order in this game. And even if that means handing out a couple of red cards. I mean, look, sometimes you have to do what you got to do, but things are really getting out of hand. And you hope that that hit from Flanagan was the last of it, but it doesn't seem like it's the last of it. And Cumberland sends that one out to the left side. Our next broadcast will be Thursday, September 19th, between the ACIT Redhawks and the Triton Mustangs in Thursday Night Football. 6 o'clock start from Triton Regional in Runnymede. And then we've got a Camden County versus Salem County matchup on Friday, September 20th, between the Audubon Green Wave and the Pennsville Eagles. That is, again, a 7 o'clock start time from Pennsville Memorial High School. Hope you all can join us for a packed weekend of football action here in South Jersey. Under a minute to play. Really, all Cumberland and Gloucester have to do is just kind of run this one out. This game has been well decided, even in the first half, but this is where things start to get petty. You know, you hit my player, I'm going to hit your player, and then it escalates into I'm going to shoulder check your player, I'm going to tackle your player, and there you go right there. With number 22, Brutalvan Calcino of Clearview. And I think that they're not even going to call a card because it's better for the players to let this clock run out and get everybody out of here before tensions get even worse. They're going to have one more shot on goal to Kevin Wall, and the Roadrunners win it 8-2. There's a player for Cumberland down at the very end, but a thrilling end to a brutal game as Gloucester pours it on and then follows that up with just some, oh man, I mean, some darn near unsportsmanlike chippiness there between the two teams. I mean, Shane Graham, can't really see it on camera, but he is ticked. He is heated at the referees for all of that. And I mean, I don't really think it was anybody's fault. I think the officials did the best that they could.
Guys, please.
They did the best that they could to just ease the tensions.
Please.
And they're not getting any better, even though this game is over. And some parting words from one of the Dukes players to the Gloucester sideline. I mean, just things got real bad real fast, and even when the game was already decided, it wasn't until the final 15 minutes that things really seemed to escalate, and then they just got worse and worse and worse until that climactic hit on PJ Flanagan. And Roadrunners lift the shield again as the men and women sweep this matchup here this afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. Things got really bad there at the end, but we're glad we were able to get through it. From everybody here at the DWB crew, our social media coordinators, Brandon DeKagerland and Keely Curran, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Nelson Reeves. Thank you so much to Maya, the student worker at RCSJ, for being on the camera for both games for a full 6 hours. I mean, that is not easy at all, and especially on short notice, being a student worker and being here to control the cameras. Excellent work as always. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you on Thursday, September 19th in Triton. Have a good one, folks.